Good evening, Professor. Today I will be presenting on leadership styles and which ones pertain to myself. In the leadership questionnaire, there are 4 categories of leadership styles that are given a point value based on how you rate yourself in response to the questions. These are my results. In the authoritative style category, I scored a 7. This result seems correct because of my military background, and as someone who likes structure and direction, I understand this kind of style of leadership and emulate it myself. This is a style everyone is first exposed to, since parents are naturally authoritative figures that a person will first be in contact with. In the facilitative leadership style category, I scored a 7 as well. This result also seems correct, as I understand the value of making each team member feel validated and contributing their own ideas. I understand the importance of developing individual learning to shape the future leaders of tomorrow. This is a style I feel coincides a lot with professional educators and how they interact with students. In the situational leadership style, I scored a 5. I associate this style with individuals who must lead in very dynamic situations. Any person who works in emergency services where each situation is different is a perfect example. I definitely don't feel that I am the best situational leader, and my results are evident of that, as this was my lowest score. However, I do feel like I am able to adapt to different situations if given enough time to do so. Lastly, there is the democratic leadership style. In this category, I scored a 6. With this category, I feel there are a lot of parallels with this and facilitative. Both evaluates team members' input, which I believe is important. However, the key distinction on how I interpret the differences between these two styles is that in democratic style, the team members make the decisions, where in facilitative, they don't. This can be chaotic sometimes if there is no consensus. This is why group projects can be very challenging sometimes if no one is appointed the official boss of the group. My leadership style I use in my professional life is a mixture of authoritative and facilitative. The perks of authoritative leadership style allows for quick decision making, clear direction for the whole team, and generally team members know their place. Conversely, though, on the setbacks, it can create a us versus them mentality between you and the team. Decisions cannot always be in the best interest of the team, and it doesn't really develop the team members to grow into the future leaders that they need to be. The perks of the perks of a facilitated leader allows for team members to contribute ideas and think outside the role. It validates opinions and promotes growth. However, on the opposite side of the spectrum, it can spark a chaotic decision-making process, and informal leaders can rise if there's a gap in leadership. In my professional life, I utilize these styles the most because it plays off my own personal strengths. However, these are not styles I am committed to using for every single team, for every single situation. There is no universal style of leadership because each team and each situation is different and will warrant a different approach to accomplish the goal. According to the U.S. Army Field Manual on military leadership, effective leaders are flexible in the way they interact with subordinates. They deal with subordinates differently, changing the way they interact as a subordinate develops or as a situation or mission changes. Your manner and approach of leading will obviously depend on your training, education, experience, and view of the world. You have to be yourself, yet be flexible enough to adjust to the people you lead and to the missions you are assigned. This is why a high aptitude of emotional intelligence is so important in leadership. This is because you develop yourself and social awareness, as well as yourself and relationship management, all of which are important skills to have when interacting in a leadership role or just a team environment in general. In conclusion, there are many different leadership styles, and even more than the 4 mentioned in this presentation, all of which have its pros and cons. However, there is no one-size-fits-all style because The people and situation will always be different. So in order to be a successful leader, it is important to adjust the approach as needed. Learn the dynamics of each team, be mindful of your own and the team's emotions, and accept that mistakes will happen along the way. Learn from it and drive your team to success. Thank you.